Okay, this is part 2 of how to create patterns in Illustrator. If you haven't already watched part 1, then please go back and do so. Beforehand we created more simplistic patterns using Illustrator and shapes. This time around I'm going to show you some different tools to create patterns, as well as how to create more complex patterns in a seamless way. So this pattern here, we're all going to follow along with what I'm going to do at the moment to create this into a seamless pattern. This one here, the way that I created these shapes and textures was using the paintbrush tool over here. So if you select the paintbrush tool just to see how I created it, I then changed my paintbrush type to, I went to these books right here. I selected artistic, I then went to paintbrush, and then I went down and I selected a I guess texture based off of these already pre-made brushes. So that is how I created it. But you don't need to go on to create any more textures unless you really must. For now, what I'm going to show you is how to create a seamless pattern. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this artboard right here, unlike the ones up the top, has shapes that do expand past the artboard. Now, this is still doable and it creates more of a complex pattern in the end, so I would recommend that you do give this a go on your own with your own shapes or your own textures later on down the track, but for now follow along with me. When we're creating a pattern like this, we need to make sure that it is able to be repeated. Once we create our clipping mask like we did over here, it will cut out anything that is outside of this white space. Now, when you try to then create like a jigsaw puzzle and I guess repeat the swatch over and over again, so add it one next to the other, you're going to find that it's going to look disjointed. Now, to stop this from looking disjointed, all we need to do is make it so that then this shape that is outside of the edge here and here at the bottom also appears at the top, and that any shapes that appear on either side out of the white space also appear on the other side. This is what I'm going to show you right now. So what I would like you to do is, let's start with the bottom section. You're just going to, with your black arrow tool, select the shapes that go outside of the white space along the bottom. Once you've got those two shapes, then what we're going to do is go Control C for copy, and then you're going to click off of that space and go Control F. Control F, what that will do is paste the shapes onto the shapes that already existed. Okay, then what we're going to do is we need to, as I said, make those shapes appear up here. Top and bottom is called your y-axis. Okay, your y-axis will appear over here. By the way, make sure these shapes are still selected. What you're going to do is click on the very end of your y-axis. Now, this white shape is 5 by 5 centimeters. So we are going to add -5, meaning that we want the shape to move up, so minus itself from the top to 5. If I then press enter, it's moved for me, specifically those shapes exactly 5 centimeters up, meaning that it's at exactly the same point this here, repeated exactly the same point that there. It's very important that you do use this process over here, and that you don't just move and gauge and get a bit of an idea and hopefully get the right thing in the right spot. Otherwise it won't be a seamless transition. Okay, then we follow the same process throughout. So we're going to click and select here. Now, I don't actually have to select this shape here because it's repeated of that one there. So what I'm going to do, is that correct? Yes, it is. So what I'm going to do is just select these two. Now, I didn't quite grab that one there, so I'm going to try again, making sure that it's only the shapes that expand past the Alright, if it's not working for you like it's not working for me, just hold shift and select that shape there. It's just the shapes that are expanding past the white. Then I'm going to go Control C and then Control F. Oh, no, I'm going to click off and then go Control F. Then we're going to go this time to the x-axis, which is going to be over here. Alright, so this time around, I think I might get this wrong, but we'll give it a go. I'm thinking it's going to be a -5. If it's not -5, then you just have to try +5. In this case, I got it right, okay? Now, there was nothing that was sticking out originally on this side, which was good, but this shape here was sticking out on the top. So I'm just going to select just that one, remembering that these two we've already moved, so we don't need to add those. Selecting it, copy, click off, Control F, so it's copied straight onto there. This time, now that is our y-axis because it's top, and we're going to go +5, so it goes down to the bottom. And there you have it. That is all that we need. Is that right? I do believe so. I might just click and select this just for the sake of it and just add that over to there too. You might also want to do the same thing. Not 100% sure whether it's going to do anything or add anything to us, but we'll give it a go. Okay, -5. Okay. Alright, now that we've got this here, we're going to follow the same steps that we went through for this one. I'm going to draw a rectangle over the top here. Doesn't matter what colour it is, just drawing it. At the moment I've got plain, but I'm going to make it blue so it's easier for all of you to see. Then black arrow tool, select and drag over all of those shapes, making sure that you've got everything. Then right click and make clipping mask. Notice that it has cut out all of those excess shapes, and if I move it around, it's all joined together. Now, before you do the clipping mask, feel free to, so if you've already followed this step, go Control Z for undo. And feel free to change the colours of the brush strokes if you can, so that then your pattern is a different colour. Then once you've done that, we follow the same step again. We make sure our swatches are selected, click and drag your newly created black and white dot swatch over, then double click on it. You'll notice that again it has created this like weird pattern that I'm not a fan of. Make sure that you've selected size tile to art. If I then unclick that, you'll be able to see that my pattern is actually joined together. I am happy with that. I can now go done. Alright, actually I'm just gonna go cancel, but as you can see here, it has saved those changes to my swatch. If I then scroll over, at the moment what I'm doing is holding the space bar so that then it makes my life easier to move around the page. I'm thinking I'm going to change it for the green one this time and then select my swatch. It didn't change. Alright, I'll double click here and just make sure that size tile to art is selected, and then you can go done. Alright, so now what you've just done is created a seamless pattern but created a mess there. That is okay. I would go Control Z, but it will delete all of that work over there. I'm sure you'll be able to work that out. Pretty much just get rid of all of that jazz. You don't need it. But now what I should have is a perfect swatch over here that has been created. No, that's not doing it for me. Okay, perfect swatch over here that has been created. And then over here you should also have a swatch that is perfectly positioned because you've got that one there, which is the example of your thingamajig. Now, in a moment, what you're going to do is you're going to go off and you're going to create a seamless pattern of your own that makes sure that parts of it expand past the white square. When you are creating this, think about using the shapes tool, thinking about using maybe the paintbrush tool and any of those paintbrushes that can be found within, or thinking about using this tool here, which is called the curvature tool. Now, let me really quickly give you a rundown on this. You can create any sort of shape you want with this tool. Simply all you have to do is, if you want a curved line, do a single click, and then on the third kind of move away / click, you'll be able to create the curve that you are after. Or alternatively, still got my pattern, you can press a double click, which will create an angled edge and an angled line if you want multiple straight lines in a row. For me, I don't. I'm going to create a cute little, hopefully, love heart. Okay, and then I'm thinking I'm going to pop in which pattern looks better. I'm thinking my star pattern. Remembering though, again, so then if I click off and go my black arrow tool, if you want to make your pattern bigger or smaller, right click, I'm going to go transform, scale, and I'm going to make sure that scale objects is unticked, and then I'm going to change this one to probably about 40 so that then I can see more of my stars within my lovely love heart. Okay, so remembering that you can do that to create your patterns. Any patterns that you are creating as of this point, you're trying to, one, show me as many skills as you can within Illustrator, so showing me your use of shapes, showing me your use of maybe paintbrushes, showing me your use of the curvature tool, and showing me your use of colors, obviously, and all of these functions. But you're also going to show me that you understand your designer's aesthetic for designer number 2. So you're really trying to create a pattern that your brand, say Gucci, would use for their collections in the future. Good luck. In class time, I will then go on to show you how you can apply your patterns that you're creating over here into garments and other designs. Okay.